New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Knick of Time Show here. Give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And yeah, once again, the Knicks lose. If you didn't notice, Knicks lose to the New Jersey Nets, or whatever you call them, 111 to 106. And once again, a bunch of no names, G leaguers, guys you scrapped together with duct tape and bubblegum came into the Garden and beat these New York Knicks. Cam Thomas hits a dagger 3 at the end. Mitch Rob was in foul trouble the whole time. People are having, season high nights. Cam Thomas 21 points. Seth Curry with 20 points. The Knicks, for the third time this season, blow a 20-plus point lead. And after scoring 38 points in the first quarter, the Knicks once again faltered in the fourth, only scoring 19, continuing the trend of not being able to score in the fourth quarter. And this game, the second half, when things matter, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to introduce my guy. I already know what it is. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building, and like all of Knicks Nation right now, I'm highly pissed off at this result. But what can I say based on the Knicks' recent play? I cannot be that surprised, but yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we definitely got it. We definitely have to get into it. And listen, there is a formula. There's a formula for this Knicks to be competitive, right? And that's the thing that's been apparent within this Knicks stretch. Randall has been scoring astronomically, scoring almost like 30 points a game, double-digit rebounds and assists for the last few games, and that seems to be the formula for the Knicks to be competitive, Ryan. But as far as winning, we still not have figured out that formula, and I think the front office, Dolan and those guys up front, have a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking to do on how to bring that about, because this team as of now is faltering. And once again, first quarter comes, the Knicks are clicking on all cylinders, hitting threes, playing defense. What did you see that led to the success of this first quarter, Ryan?
Basically hot shooting. Grimes is knocking it from 3-point range. Julius Randle's knocking it from 3-point range. Again, quick offense. The Knicks weren't stagnant on offense. They pushed the pace, passed the ball around, got wide open threes as a result. They were knocking them down. The intensity on defense was high. First unit and second unit, both units played spectacular.
Yeah.
In the first half, especially defensively, and that's why the Knicks were able to build up that 20-plus point lead.
Yeah. It's and we kind of already know like the formula too. Like, okay, if you push the pace, we get the shots we need. Unfortunately, you can't have everybody playing huge minutes, 40 minutes. And shout out to a KOT listener who actually typed that into the comments last week. So you can't have these guys playing 40 minutes a game and expect to keep that pace up. You're going to have to, divvy up the minutes a little bit. The second half comes, Ryan. The threes stop falling and the Knicks don't know what to do. And I'm going to talk about, we've been missing RJ Barrett for the last 4 games, right? And
yeah.
Here's the thing, Ryan. The way we set up our offense, the way we found success in that first half was only because we pushed the pace and their defense was not set. When their defense is set, we're in trouble. And you saw it in the first play of that game. The first play of that game, the defense was set. The Nets were able to go over the screens, smother our shooters, and we weren't able to get any clean. It wasn't able to get a clean look. The next few plays in a row, the Knicks run the ball down their throat and was able to get transition open threes. I think we had 19 points off of fast breaks in that first half. first unit and second unit did a great job of running the ball and keeping the pace. Third quarter comes, the pace slows down. We had trouble scoring. Can you tell me what did you see in that second half and why we had trouble scoring? Because I don't know. Did you even see, like, because I just saw that the things that the shot stopped falling. Cause that's the biggest thing that I saw. But what did you see?
Yeah, it was pretty much night and day. That the energy that the Knicks came out with in the first half, I didn't see that same energy within the third quarter. Like they did start off a little bit sluggish, and I think that there was more dribbling. You know, players had the ball, they were definitely dribbling more, and they definitely were, you know, playing more one-on-one, I think, as opposed to, you know, moving the offense quickly and passing the ball around and things of that nature. Because there were a few plays I saw where there was barely any ball movement, a lot of dribbling. If, you know, Julius Randle passed up on a wide open three, then like dribbled it into the lane,
Right.
you know, to be by the basket with like two guys, you know, defending his shot or whatnot, you know, and plays like that where, you know, in the first half they were just playing fast, moving the ball around, and then, but yeah, the shot stopped falling. What, they hit like 13 threes in the first half. What, second half they only hit like 2 threes?
Yeah.
So yes, I mean that's a major part of it too, but it's just one of those games now where it's just one of those things now where it's like I just think that the Knicks are so short on confidence right now that when it gets into late game situations, they just freeze, even though it's not just that. There's a whole bunch of issues you can point at.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, Burks playing point guard in late minutes, knowing that he's not a true point guard. He cannot set up an offense.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you had Quickly, who actually had a good game today. He was balling tonight. And then you finally decided to put in Quickly with like 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the game?
Yeah.
For Burks? Like,
yeah.
Come, too late. Quickly should have been in much early in the fourth quarter. And like I said, it's a lot of things. Lack of good point guard play. The fact that the Knicks do not have a closer. Julius Randle's that guy that can, you know, he can play good within the first 3 quarters, you know, move fast, make good decisions. But when it gets late game situations, he's just not that guy that you can depend on to make good decisions for you. And then, like, right now, I just got a tweet from Fred Katz. You know, I got an alert saying that Tom Thibodeau was saying everything is on the table now. And it's like, everything should have been on the table like a few games ago. You should have been considering everything. You should have changed up something within the Knicks lineup, whether it's try to give McBride minutes or change up your rotations. Something different had to be done. And because he's so stagnant and he's so rigid and he sticks to the same formula, this is the result. The Knicks are just faltering before our eyes.
Yeah. It's time, Ryan. It's time. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, but I just switched up the screen, and it says, "Hey Tibbs, play the kids." You said something that was interesting before in the fourth quarter, the Knicks don't have playmakers, right? It's interesting because R.J. Barrett is down, right? He hasn't played in the last 4 games. In half-court sets, we've been using R.J. Barrett as a playmaker, running pistol for him, and he's able to get Mitch an easy lob or kick it out to easy for 3-pointers, or is able to take advantage of his driving lanes and go into the lane and score that way. That gave us another dynamic to score. Since he's been gone, we've taken away another guy who can make plays for other people, which has been crucial for why, you know, we're faltering even more in these fourth quarters than even usual. Now, if I'm an offensive coach, or if I'm a coach and I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm looking at, you know, who are the playmakers on this team? Hell, who are the playmakers even in this starting unit? Kemba Walker has success playing pick and roll basketball in December. He's starting to get it going a little bit. Maybe now that RJ is gone, maybe you mix in a little bit of Kemba Walker with that first unit for the minutes he has, right? Maybe that's an avenue you go in. A little bit more pick and roll in general, but involving Kemba Walker. But also play the kids. Play the kids, play the kids, play the kids. Reddish. Interesting. Reddish had an interesting game today, Ryan. Played pretty good defense, had a walk-up three. Third or fourth quarter comes, he doesn't really touch the ball. The last few minutes of the game, he gets the ball and he tries something and he goes to the line and gets fouled. But the thing is, like, he was able to easily get to the line. It seems like Cam Reddish has a knack for kind of creating off the dribble and getting to the line and creating something out of nothing. So when the primary problem for this team is creating shots, and we're losing at the rate that we're losing, it's time to turn the page and figure out who on this team can create shots, because that's what we need to really get over the hump. And that means playing the kids. That means playing Cam Reddish more minutes. That means playing Deuce McBride more minutes, who scored. He had like a 9 assist, 20+ point game today. And playing even quickly, who I know people are up and down on quickly, and had a good game today. But at this point of the season, like, he's part of the young core too, and he can't, he doesn't create shots super easily because it's predicated on jump shots, but he can create shots more than other people here.
Yeah, and like you said, and it's like I said too, like, he doesn't change anything. It's like that quote from Einstein that basically says, trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, like, that's madness. Like, if you see that every time you throw this lineup out there, they're faltering in the fourth quarter, they cannot create offense, they cannot create their own shots, why not change a few things? You see Burks is faltering at point guard. Mm-hmm. Okay, tonight Thibs decided to put in quickly for Burks, but still 1 minute 30 seconds left in the game. That's too late.
It's too late.
Quickly should have been in the game before that. You have McBride on the bench. Every time you bring this guy down to the G League, he's proven that he's too good for the G League. So why not? So why are you not trying him in NBA games just to see what you can get out of him? Because you need point guard play. Like you say, Cam Reddish is showing that he has the ability to slash to the basket, create his own shot, something that the Knicks sorely lack at the moment. You give him no burn. It's baffling to me. Like, I don't understand why he just sticks to the same guys over and over again, expecting the Knicks are going to do better. And I don't know. I'm just overly frustrated. Like honestly, I hate going overboard on things because I'm like, it's sometimes, it's like, okay, this is just one game, but right. This is repeatedly happening over and over and over and over again. Like, honestly, if I was in the front office right now, I'd be like, yo, Thibs, you are on the hot seat. Like, there is no way I'm having him go into the second half of the season thinking this man's job is safe. No way.
Yeah, a change is definitely needed at this point. We need to play these kids. We need to figure out what we have. Deuce McBride was in a G League today, which is interesting because it's crazy because I like that McBride is in the G League in general because at least he's not wasting away on the bench. But it's just a weird time to have him in a G League. But I would have to think, if I'm the front office, if I'm James Dolan, if I'm going into this season with this All-Star break, I have to reevaluate some things. And shout out to Jeff Van Gundy, who kept it all the way real. Like, at this point, playing for the play-in with the way we're playing right now just seems like a waste. Yep. It just seems like a waste to shoot for the play-in. It just seems like a waste to shoot for the play-in. Play these kids. I want to give Cam Reddish 25 minutes a game. Give Obi Toppin 25 minutes a game. Give McBride minutes. Give all these young kids minutes. Because, man, it's been rough. And you know what, too? Like, there's some other reasons why we lost. Of course, it's the pace. We can't keep that pace up in the second half. Cam Thomas killed us. Mitchell Robinson got into foul trouble against Drummond, and that really hurts because Drummond is a rebounding beast.
Yeah, and he had like 19 rebounds tonight.
Yeah, he had 19 rebounds tonight. And if you notice, in that third quarter, when the Knicks started to make that push, Robinson was back in the game, and he was able to kind of like plug up some of the holes that Taj wasn't able to plug up, like the rebounding edge and things of that nature. But it's like at the end of the day, when the fourth quarter, fourth quarter comes, Julius Randle cannot be relied on to create shots consistently for himself and other people. Like he's starting to get a hang of getting that little side to side swipe cheap foul. Like that was the only thing that was kind of stopping the bleeding in that fourth quarter. He started doing that side to swipe cheap foul. He was getting to the line, but we need another ball handler, another playmaker to get over the hump. And the front office tried it. They tried to give us Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, thinking that we have some other playmakers, but at this point in time, it's still not enough. Not enough.
Most definitely, 100% agree.
Right. Shout out to the chat, man. Fritz says 9 under 500 outs. Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. Ronnie says Deuce needs NBA minutes. I hear you. Vip stops it is over. Stanley Mann says exactly what is the point in playing Kemba and Taj? Start Deuce and play Sims to back up Mitch. And that's the other thing too. That's a great point too. When you have and I said this before when he was playing Nurkic, Taj on Nurkic is complete dismantling. Like you can't. Taj bless Taj's heart. He plays well, but he does not have the physicality to keep up these real NBA centers. Sims is a big boy. You have to play Sims minutes when you're facing real NBA centers. It's not even a question. And I love Taj and what he's done, but you cannot afford to have him getting beat up.
Yeah.
Shout out to BKNY. This is a $5 super chat. Says embrace the tank, play the kids, give Tibbs the Dave gentleman treatment.
And retire rather than fire
him. With Johnny Bryant. Not the fake retirement. Oh man. Real New Yorkers know what's up. You already know that's not gonna fly. He retires out of nowhere, and then comes back like he's Hove, like dropping another album with another team. Like I don't think, but I feel you, man. I feel you. I think everybody's frustrated with Tibbs at this point. But you already know what it is, man. If you want to call me, you want to complain, you want to talk, all you gotta do is call that number below, 319-527-6241. First caller up. You already know what it is. We got our man Big Reaper. Big Reaper, let us know what your name is. We already know what your name is. Let us know what you want to talk about, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? AJ Ellis. Hey, Ron G. What's up, chat? Thank you guys for taking my call. Yeah, actually at this point, I don't even, I'm not even upset anymore when we lose, and then as far as Tibbs, it's complicated. I got to see what he does the rest of the season in terms of like the kids. If he actually starts giving them more minutes. If he doesn't, he's still playing the best way he's playing them, like trying to play them like 40 minutes a game. Then obviously that's going to be a big problem. But the things I do like about Tibbs is like, it's I think if he figures it out, he's able to like, he just doesn't like variation. Yeah. He doesn't like to get a lot of variation in his offense or defense. So it makes it very difficult for him. I think it's just for him. It makes it difficult for him to fill out the game and to make decisions. And so I think that's why he just likes to play a consistent lineup. But obviously, we've known since game 20 that this just isn't working. But I like the way he honestly. There's some things I like about his approach to training up the youngsters, more about especially how he makes them work. Like basically, there's a progression. Obviously, he likes to work with them over the summer, right. And he makes sure and with Tibbs, if you don't show up to work out over the summer with the team coaches, then he kind of you're basically on the outs, I think. And I like that he does that. And then on top of that, he likes to see what you do in practice. And then if you prove in practice, you practice well, then you'll play. Although obviously he's not really, doing that. He's not really holding everyone to the same standards, right, as far as playing well in games. But in terms of the game that we lost today, I think the biggest thing is the last few games with defense has been just atrocious because we're missing RJ Barrett on the wing. Mm-hmm. With that kid Cam Thomas today, they would have probably put RJ on him, and I think RJ would have been able to slow him down. I think I was telling you guys before, Grimes is he's great with staying on his man, but for some reason he struggles actually defending the actual shot. So basically he's not as effective, defending a shot as RJ is. The good thing about Grimes though is he doesn't let you in the paint. It's just he just needs to work on contesting shots because his average is not very good against offensive players. The other thing is I'm pretty glad that somebody already said it about the pace that Julius is playing at. I mean, if you're going to play Julius at that pace, then you're going to have to play Obi at least 20 minutes.
Have to.
So it's kind of silly. It's pretty silly to ask Julius to play at that pace. And it's actually helping him. It is helping him. It's helping the team. But then the coach is trying to have him sprint up and down for 40 minutes a game.
Right. It's not possible.
Yeah. And the other thing that he does too is it's almost like Julius now, because he's doing that, he thinks he doesn't have to play defense, when I went to the game on Monday, it was painfully obvious. He misses a layup, or if he turns over the ball, he doesn't get back on defense.
Does not.
He'll jog back slowly. He'll first stare at the ref.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then starts to jog back slowly, which is crazy. And every time that happened, the opposing team scored.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing there. And then with Mitch, I'm kind of glad Mitch was in foul trouble today, because Tibbs, I just have a feeling he just doesn't care. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm thinking Tibbs needs to go. He just doesn't care about the health of these players, because it's ridiculous. He knows, first of all, they went all year without playing Mitch over 30 minutes a game, because they know when you have a big center like that has injury history, you're not supposed to play him over 30 minutes a game. But what's been happening the last few games, because Tibbs is desperate to kind of to keep fighting so he can make the play-in. He played 37 minutes in one game a week ago, and then missed the next game because he had back problems. Comes back, and then I think he injured his ankle. I remember one game where he was limping up and down.
Mitch has been limping every game this month.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mitch is literally every game this month, man.
But if he's limping up and down for let's say a few possessions, you got to take him out. And there was I think it was the last game, the Monday game. I mean, Mitch played 41 minutes, I think, on that game, over 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little absurd. I think at this point, the way he was playing, Rose hurt. The way he played RJ got RJ hurt. Now, he's doing the same, he just doesn't care. And so that's actually the only reason why I think sometimes, maybe they need to just get rid of him, because it's almost he doesn't care, just for one win. He'll sacrifice anyone, and he'll sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
And so,
I
so that's the issue with him.
I got you. Appreciate the call, Reaper. We got a bunch of callers in today. I feel like everybody's pissed, so I want to be able to get to everybody. But salute to you, man.
No problem. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, but to expound, man, before we fire the dude, I need the front office to actually talk to the dude and tell him the real concerns, because he there's things that he does as well, right? And Reaper kind of listed them. He encourages the young players to come in the off season. He kind of has he teaches the detailed game plan he gives is everybody praises him on how detailed his game plans are. But there's the things that he does with the rotations and the the inability to adjust is just confusing and frustrating. The coaches, Steve Bryant, Dolan, the front office, they have to talk to him about that at some point, because he's not an all bad coach. He's had success. But man, he needs to change his ways. He definitely needs to change his ways, and they have to put him on notice, not make that a soft call, but a really hard stance. To me.
Yeah. It's kind of like Sid is coaching the Knicks as if he has a good team.
Yeah.
I think when you have a good team, then yeah, you can stick to the same rotations because your team is good. They'll play well together, and you know what to expect out of them game by game, and they're gonna perform well because it's a good team. But when you have a bad team, you have to try to be more flexible because you have to try to figure out what works, and you can't just stick to one lineup because that's how you put your team in a hole like the Knicks are in now. You have to learn to switch it up with teams that are not that good.
Right.
And I just like Thibs is one of those guys where it's like Thibs is perfect as a coach if it's a good team, if it's a great team. That's when Thibs is like the right coach for the job. But when you have a team that's struggling,
right,
Thibs ain't the right coach for that type of team.
Exactly. Like things like today, that third quarter, he left that first unit in entirely too long for my liking. I'm like, you could have put quickly in quicker in that situation as well. And offensively, sometimes he's like a little bit too stubborn. He doesn't want to bend offensively. So maybe you get him some offensive coordination help. I'm not sure. But all right. But we got a lot of callers in there, so we're gonna get them through. All right. Next caller up. Let us know what your name is and where you're from and what do you want to talk about.
Yeah.
What up, my guy
Salute,
JT,
y'all.
man?
Salute, chat.
Salute.
I'm furious right now, man. This is 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. This ain't good.
Facts.
This isn't good. And I don't see anything good in the near future because Ryan basically said it best. If you had a good team, then Tibbs' style is okay. That's what last year was okay because we were a great team last year. We, whatever they want to say, open gym, whatever, the results spoke for itself. We were the 4th seed. This season, we are not it. It's not it. And the reason why it's so frustrating with Tibbs, and like I agree with you, Jay, if he could have the stern one light pointing at his forehead conversation with Dolan and the rest of the guys, like, look, if you don't do this, you're out of here because he does have good qualities and other stuff, but this rotation is ridiculous. It is killing me because you got guys playing 40-plus minutes, and let's just use some common sense here. If those guys are playing 30, if they don't play 32 minutes by the third quarter, what legs are they going to have for the fourth? So it's like why aren't you your rotations? That's what it is. No one is saying that these kids on the bench is the dream team, but come on, man. Like these guys are tired. You gotta let Randall sit. You gotta let Burke sit. You gotta let these guys sit. And the biggest frustrating thing on the player side of it too, and it's like I guess everybody coaching and all that is they're playing what they kept doing. They started getting really easy to predict as always. Back to the 2019 season.
Yep.
Feed the ball to Randall. Feed the ball to Randall. Feed the ball to Randall.
Yep.
So what happens when you do that? The rest of the players aren't engaged. They're lackadaisical, and there's just like bad last second shots. The shot clock keeps winding down. It's just this is, and then and everybody. Oh, my fault.
No, I'm not bad.
I'm going on a rant.
No, you was good. Cause you're right. I'm like, everything has been dribble handoffs. And more dribble handoffs. That's really what I see. It's dribble handoffs.
Exactly, and that's what we keep doing.
And more dribble handoffs. And if you dribble handoff if you dribble handoff to Fournier, if Randall dives to the basket, then maybe every now and again Fournier will pass it to Randall. But that didn't even happen today. Like we need to diversify our offense severely, man. And that means giving Kemba some more run.
Thomas or
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Or whoever Buddy was, my fault. Whoever the dude was who got a rebound over Mitch and Randall, that just, as always, hero ball. It's like you guys, they lose composure, and it's like they want to put it on their shoulder to try to win the game, and it's like it's a team game at the end of the day. You got Mitch. Mitch is a rebound threat. No one's touching Mitch. Mitch pay him. But like Reaper said, I'm glad he was in foul trouble because Tibbs would probably played him 47 minutes, including commercial break.
Play Sims.
Like exactly. And then everybody talking about this tank. I personally, like I said, I'm not a fan of the tank because it never goes our way. But even if it does, let's say we get the number 1 pick, it don't even matter because Tibbs, unless we got a phenom coming out of college, which I don't think. I mean, I guess Chet is from Gonzaga, but he's a power forward. Unless you're trading Randall and then you're gonna keep Obi on the bench, that's another topic. But no matter who we get, if we get a pretty good high pick, that I don't know if the guy gonna slot in and play. And play immediately because look at McBride. Even like we keep saying, at least if you play these guys and you let them and we see what they got, then it just makes sense. So these guys aren't playing as much minutes, playing as long, and then it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating.
Right. Like I said this before. I was some other guy's show. I think it's gonna come out next week. For me, it's not even about tanking. People talk about tank for Ivy. Being a Knicks fan, I've been jaded too long. Like I really don't trust the draft. But for me, it's not about tanking for Ivy. It's more about the assets that we have here already. We need to see what we have, and then we need to maximize those guys to see if they can step up. If they can step up and be a piece in the cog for the Knicks, or maybe at least raise their value so other people can see there's value in having them on the team as well. No matter what direction we go in, we already know what the veterans can do. Their stock is their stock. These young kids,
they've been in the league that long. They're not. No one's trading a farm for these guys.
Exactly. And that's what so when people are talking about tanking for picks, I'm not really tanking for picks. I want to see what the young players have. Straight up.
Yeah. So this is like everybody say this is Tibbs and he is who he is, and this is why again it's like that you don't want this carousel coaching, but like we keep saying, get rid of his ass and get rid of him and just let Johnny Bryant take the helm, because that way at least the system's still in play, everything is still in place, some minor tweaks, whatever. But it is, with that. But other than that, man, this was really infuriating because it's like they folded on, and this isn't the first game. This is back to back. The only thing that concerns me too is with Rose coming back, is what is that? What's that going? Is Rose going to start playing 32 minutes also?
Right.
Because it's like nothing's going to change.
He needs to sit. He needs to sit the rest of the season.
But we saying that, but Thomas Thibodeau, Thibodeau ain't doing it, and it's just. It's really infuriating. But anyway, y'all, as always, all 82, we need therapy, but we always in the house. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy JT, man. It's Knicks therapy today. We all getting stuff off our chest. And apparently Ryan's computer has also had it. He says, I'm out. Ryan's computer said, I'm out. I had enough of this Knicks talk. Get me out of here. Jay Ellis, you handled by yourself, so that's what I'm about to do. All right. All right, man. Next caller up, man. Next caller up. Before I even get to the next caller, I'm gonna just reiterate what I said. What I was talking about before, man. I know a lot of people pissed at me when I talk about Cam and possibly moving him. But here's the thing, man. I'm scared that Cam is gonna be another Obi. I'm scared that Cam is gonna be another Obi. That's really what it is. Like, unless these front office steps in, the front office has to step in and let Cam get minutes, let Obi get minutes, and let these guys get minutes, so we know what we have in these guys, so we know how to moving forward. If they're ready for the New York Knicks, or we can flip them later, or we can flip Randall later, we can flip it. Like, we need to know. We just need to know. We need more information. And by the way Tom is coaching, we'll find us. Cam will be in the same situation that Knox was in this season, with only playing spot minutes, and then we would have wasted a draft pick. Straight up. But that's all I got to say. Next caller up, man. Let us know what your name is, where you're from, and what do you want to talk about.
Jay Ellis.
What's going on?
What's going on, Jay Ellis? Ryan G. This is Craig Ward.
What's going on? What's going on, Craig? Yeah, Ryan G's kind of signed off. His computer's messed up, so hopefully he makes his way back. But yeah, his computer kind of messed up. What's going on, Craig?
Yeah. It's been a minute, so and there's not too much you can say because you pretty much covered all the grounds and stuff. Our team has definitely disappointed us as fans in their performance and their overall look as a team. Now, as a team is an interesting term that I wanted to reiterate on, because the games that we won, when we won big against caliber teams, like when we played the Warriors, we played them as a team. That's how we won that game. It was a whole team effort. When we start off real fast, we seem to do real well because, one, we push the ball up on offense, We're in the front court, lickety split, not allowing the other team to set up their defense, and that's how we're able to accumulate, a large amount of points. It's like lately it was like 30 points in a quarter.
Right, 30 points in the first quarter.
And then after you come out of the locker room, now you want to slow the ball up. You allow the defense to set their defense, the other team to set their defense up, making it very difficult for us to score points now because everybody's covered. Nobody has a fast break. Nobody has a clear shot at the basket. So, and then the isolation, especially with Julius, it's killing us on time because he slows the ball down. We're now behind on the clock, and we only have a few more seconds to shoot the ball up, and we're taking wild shots and desperations. When if we are rushing the ball, if we're moving the ball quickly, moving the ball around, making sure that you pass it to somebody that's open. Double team, pass the ball quickly. Don't keep dribbling like I'm going to make this shot and I'm going to put it on my shoulders, because they can't stop me. Yes, they can stop you. They seem to be doing well with stopping you. You once in a while you get lucky. You'll do that fadeaway shot, and it's not falling like it did last year.
Yeah.
So I'm saying right now, with Tibbs, he's concentrating. It should be on defense, and he's failing from last year. I wanted to give him some time for leniency due to the fact that last year he won Coach of the Year. Yeah. He took a scrub team, a struggling team, and brought us to the fourth seed in last year's playoff. Outstanding. Now, you think you're going to get a couple of guys, Fournier and what's the other guy's name? Kemba Walker. We get those two guys. You think when we're going to put points on the board. And these guys aren't hitting for the whole beginning of the season until lately. Fournier, I got to respect, has really been coming through for us, but it's streaky. He's not consistent throughout the whole game where you can really depend on him. He's dropping threes like you wouldn't believe. You go, oh, my God, he's gone. Then he starts shooting more threes and nothing is falling. Here's my thing. If you Tibbs said that, if the shot is open, if you got a clear shot, take the three. If you're open, hit the three. But these guys right now can only do that when they're rushing the ball, when they're at a fast pace. But when they're at half court, you're taking 3 shots. You're taking the 3-pointers, and you're covered. And then now you're doing a desperation shot. It ain't a clean shot. It's like ill-advised.
I get you, Craig. I get you, Craig. Man, we don't have playmakers. Pretty much what you're saying was what we were saying earlier. We don't have the playmakers to really make the plays that we really need to play. And that's why we need a point guard. That's why we need to give Cam Reddish some minutes. That's why we need to, even quickly struggling, we need to let him play. That's why we need McBride to play. We need to switch it up because we don't have playmakers, man. I get exactly what you're saying, bro. We need the playmakers.
And Tibbs, it's like when he's on each team. If it wasn't for Chicago, you said, wow, he's a good coach because each year he kept getting better than the previous year, until they made it to the playoffs, and they seem to be in the playoffs consistently. Then they let him go. He goes over to Minnesota, and then the first year he gets there, he's blowing up. He's got Cat as rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Then the second year they flopping again. So it's like he got that 1 year, the first year he's on, he's great. Years after his first year, he's terrible. I mean, he's trash. Straight up trash.
Yeah. So you say he ran his course. You're saying he's ran his course. I got you.
And it's like, if you really look at it with our team right now, he was supposed to be the defensive guru. He's a lie. He lied to us. He sold us some false dreams because he said he was going to change his whole style up from what he did on the other teams, Chicago and Minnesota. I'm not going to play but He's running out. He's doing exactly what he did to make those teams run him out of town because he's running them in, our boys, into the ground to where they're injured. Here you got my man.
Got you.
You got the blockless monster limping, and you want to run him for 40 minutes. Why? You're going to run him into the ground. Now he's not going to be any good to us either way. We even try to give him a contract. He's going to be broken up to even be performing well. So when we got rid of Mike Woodson, that's when our whole offensive scheme just went to trash. It was like Mike Woodson was the thing that made us start to win games, like to get us to be four-seeded. And I'm just saying we could petition for Kenny Atkinson. That's all I gotta say right there.
Got you. All right, thanks for calling in, Craig, man. Thanks for calling in, Craig.
Okay. All right,
All right, man.
Yo, salute to you.
Yeah.
Craig has had it. He says, "Bring back Kenny." Tibbs does what he does. He's really good for 1 year, but the second year it always goes down, just like it happened in Minnesota. He's done with it.
It's hard to argue that right now.
It's hard to argue, man. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue that, man. How do you feel? I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe we need to put a poll or something up in the chat. I'm really curious, chat. Do you want Tibbs to have one more year, or do you want him fired this year? I would really like to see that in the chat.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good survey.
A good survey. Sure, can I set up a poll? Let me see if I can even set up a phone. Answer the chat for now until I figure out how to set up a poll right now on live on here. All right. Next call up, I know we got Ken. Ken, let us know what you want to talk about.
Ryan G's back on?
Yeah, Ryan G is back in the building.
What's up, my man?
Hey, man, what's good?
Hey, I just let you guys know where I'm coming from, man. I was at the game tonight. I had some good seats. My lovely wife, Jenny.
Oh, wow. That's love right there.
Got me some tickets in the 100 section near the bench. So I had an incredible view of the game. And a couple of observations. One is, there was a lot more Brooklyn Nets fans than I expected. And there was a large contingent of them that were very loud. So that was already upsetting. And then as the game started, like you saw the first game, like as soon as the first possession, we had a 24-second shot violation.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, here we go. But then what happened? We were passing the ball around. And also I think because, Brooklyn was had a lot of new guys playing, there were some lapses on the defense. And we had really good looks, and we were hitting threes. And we got up. But I'm telling you, as I look at this roster, I would, at least tonight, if Nash was coaching our team, we would have played better. Because all I saw was Mitch played stupid, and he got a lot of fouls. And he started the third quarter, he picked up his fourth foul right away. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, we're in trouble. But then what I noticed was, listen, Brooklyn kept chipping away. You saw them cutting to the basket, and they would just get, these little baskets, and they would either catch, they would do either a nice cut or they would catch the Knicks napping a little. But like you saw, like Bruce Brown with 3 for 4. I was right under the basket. I saw him. He'd catch a couple of passes as he'd come to the basket, and he got a layup. And then they kept doing it. They kept picking it apart. And then finally, these guys started hitting shots. And then what happened with the Knicks? As soon and I think this goes back to what Phoenix used to do when Nash was a player, was they would bait people into taking shots early in the shot clock, right, and out of rhythm, so they could fast break the other way. And you saw that at the beginning of the third, everybody was pulling up and taking a quick 3-pointer, and then we started missing.
Yeah,
and then we got out of rhythm instead of keep passing the ball, keep cutting. Because you saw, like we said, when Randall, he's a bulldozer. When he was going to the, cutting to the basket, he was doing well, and his shot was dropping today. But once we started getting into this, like you talked about, these dribble handoffs and everybody holding the ball, it's like, I was screaming. I was like, pass the ball. Stop holding the ball. If you're dribbling the ball 2 or 3 times and you're not going towards the basket, you're doing something wrong. And that's what happened. We kept taking these bad shots, and we kept Brooklyn around. And finally they started hitting shots. And to me, I think you guys touched upon, Tibbs isn't dominant. It's not like we can just, watch a game and know more than this guy who's totally obsessed with basketball and he lives, eats, breathes the game.
Right.
But I think there's something to him wearing these guys out.
Yeah.
And I see someone like Nash is like, listen, these guys sit. He's not pounding on them. They're not mentally fatigued. Because I think I see this team as they freak out as soon as it gets a little tight.
Yep.
You see them. They start going ISO ball. They don't trust the process. And the same thing like with Julius. Like somebody's got to like reel this guy in. It's like, listen, it's great that you can handle the ball and bring it up, but when you start getting too close to the defenders, man, pass the ball, pass it up. It was too many turnovers tonight. And there were some passes I saw that he was trying to be creative.
Yeah, in that first quarter, especially.
Guys weren't, they were like good intentions, but these guys weren't ready to handle them. I'm like, listen,
that pass to Fournier stick out to me. He tried to like give Fournier. He tried to give like a lead pass to Fournier in the first quarter, and Fournier wasn't even ready for it because he's like, I didn't even know that was in your bag, Julius. So I wasn't even trying to.
Right. Like I was like, hey, I like the idea, but I was like, it's obvious like nobody was expecting this, and then turn the cover. So anyway. So I think it's a lot of what we've been seeing, and like something's got to give. But like I said, when you go through like each play on the roster, there really isn't anyone you can say, "Oh my God, that guy's garbage." And I can tell you one thing: when I saw Cam Reddish was out there, when it was Cam, Obi, and Mitch with that front line, I mean that was freakish athletic lineup. Like if these kids could like figure it out, that's potent. But like I said, Tibbs, he's got to adjust his approach, and he's got to emphasize the more ball movement and creativity on offense because he's too in love with this ISO stuff. I was like, listen, you don't have Chicago Bulls Derrick Rose back there.
No.
You don't even have Derrick Rose from last year back there. It's like you can't be running all this ISO with this team like you guys are talking about. So anyway, the one thing I'll say is I am encouraged with the young guys. I mean, like I said, Grimes shows promise.
Yeah, Grimes is nice.
Played better today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at Cam, I'm like, I see the potential there. To me, he's better than Knox. But like you guys talked about, he's got to get some more minutes. And like I said, Obi looks good. Like there's nobody on that team that can say they're bad. It's just they don't play well together.
Right.
And part of it is what you guys are talking about is like they don't trust each other. They don't pass enough. And when it gets tight, there isn't someone who can get a basket for them. And then they choke. And then they let the other team in. So, anyway, fellas, I don't know. To me, I think Tibbs, you got to give him one more year, but he needs to have some come to Jesus moment with Leon Rose and World Wide West and them boys.
Yeah.
And tell them, like, listen, man, we appreciate the intensity and the focus, but you got to change something up because, like I said, these guys are not responding, and it's not working. So we got to mix it up a little.
Absolutely.
So like I said, there's talent, and the positive is like, look, Julius has been playing better. Like his stats are better, so like his trade value is going up, but it's not translating into wins. So anyway, that was it, fellas. I just want to share that from my view from the Garden today. So it was very humiliating to walk out and hear all these
man. Knicks therapy session.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
Like, what can you say?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. So thanks a lot, man. Keep up the good work. Stay strong, man.
We here, man. All 82, man.
Yeah, man. All 82 as always.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
all right,
shout out to Kid. Shout out to Kid. That's the editor in chief of the KOT show. I'm not the blog, and as always, you already know what it is.
Shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here, right? The Knicks Nation. It's crazy. It's a whole mess, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's like I said, man, Tibbs. I don't want him to go right now because he was coach of the year last year, but he needs a stern talking to, and I'm gonna lay on that. I'm gonna lean on that and keep it that way.
Exactly, but I'm on board where if things don't change and he continues to play the vets crazy minutes in the second half of the season, and the Knicks continue to lose, the Knicks just have to cut ties because him continuing to play veterans and the Knicks continuing to play how they're playing does not help the team. You have to give the younger guys minutes, and you have to see what you can get out of them, especially if the Knicks are 9-10 games under 500, where like the season's going to waste.
I think at this point in the season, the front office can break their pact because the pact for the Knicks have been, we control the assets. Front office controls the assets. You control the coaching, and you figure it out. That's how they've been living and dying by since Tom Thibodeau has been here. But at this point, with the way things are going, I think the front office has the right to kind of have like a law of the land from on high and say, listen, man, at this point, it's obvious we don't have enough to get over a little bit of a hump. So I need, and he's probably gonna be like, well, we don't have RJ. I can see him saying that. I could definitely see him saying that, and he's partially true.
Wait, hold on. Just sorry to cut you off. That he don't have RJ and he don't have Rose. You forgot Rose.
Right, which is true. And like I said before, we need today, especially we need another ball handler. We need another guy who can create shots off the dribble, because right now all we're doing is dribble handoff. So we need another ball handler, and that guy was RJ for us. Even though he's not an elite ball handler and a guy who can set up people at a super high rate, but can do it decently for us. So I can see him saying that, but we need to shift gears right now with us being 10 games under 500 because one guy goes down, and with us, not so we get our we get our guys back, and now we're like 5 games under 500. Like it's just time. It's just time to develop these young guys, and that's all I have to say about that. Be Civilized says J.L.S. Tibbs got coach of the year due to Woodson's development with RJ and Randall as well as rotations. Woodson's development. I mean, I always felt like Tibbs is the best guy for RJ. And I'm not sure how good he is for everybody else, but I feel like he's the best guy for RJ. So I'm not sure what role Woodson is, but I feel like Woodson is kind of the dad that you need to soften the blow of Tibbs when Tibbs gets out of hand. That's how I see it. And maybe he's the guy who might, encourage the 5-out offense, because he did that when the Knicks had Rasheed Wallace. So I wonder if he had any. I don't know. I'm not sure what direct impact he has on RJ, but obviously Woodson was a big part of our team. Ryan, I cut you off earlier. Sorry, Ryan. Was you about to say anything else?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you that it's impossible to tell what kind of impact Woodson had, because we really don't know specifically what Woodson did as an assistant coach with Tibbs. But it is pretty glaring that last season with Woodson, the Knicks were a good team, and then this season without Woodson on the staff, the team has pretty much gone down. Now, is that attributed to Woodson? I don't know, but I mean, it is pretty interesting when you look at it, and pretty much, yeah, that's it.
I feel you.
Yeah,
you're lost for words. I get it, man. We all lost for words here, right? Tony B says it really doesn't matter if we have another ball handler if the strategy is just bringing the ball down the court and giving it to Randall. No, you're absolutely right, because I even said it at the early beginning of the show that with the RJ down, we definitely should be running more Kemba Walker pick and roll to vary up the offense a little bit. With the addition of having more off-ball cuts to get the offense going. All right. But I've talked about everything we want to talk about. Listen, we got a all-star break coming in. Probably gonna have maybe a review show or something to review the half of anything. And I'm probably gonna try to work on some other stuff for KOT on this little break. But thanks y'all for joining us. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We're definitely gonna be here for the second half of the season, all 82 to talk about these Knicks, and hopefully we see a whole lot more young guys, because I would have to think at this point the front office and Dolan is getting involved, and we should be seeing a lot more young guys playing now that we're 9 games under 500. And we lost to teams like a Nets team who lost what 9 in a row.
The Nets lost 11 in a row.
11
and
in a row.
Then they won the previous game before the Knicks, so they're on like a 2-game winning streak right now.
Right.
They beat us tonight. Yeah, and
then losing to the lowly OKC Thunder, I think that has to put the nail in the coffin to play these young kids, I would think.
Yeah, and don't forget, also blew a 20-point lead to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Blew a 20-point lead to the Trailblazers as well. So
absolutely. So don't never forget. All right, play these kids, man. Play these kids.
And I hope the kids play in the second half, but I can just see Thibs just firing back at the front office and Dolan saying that, well, I got Rose back, I got RJ back.
We could go.
Let's give him another shot. I can just see Thibs just firing back like that. I can just see it.
No. have to say, man. That's a no for me, dog. All right, Ryan. Let them know where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Sir G's Corner, where I will be. I haven't done one in a while, but trust me, it's coming, especially with All-Star break. It's coming because, you saw me rant about the Knicks a little bit, but there's going to be a more, exclusive rant coming later on. And you can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
Right. Wait, did I read the super chat? Hold on. Did I read the super chat? I hope I did. Shout out to the $10 super chat from Rodney Odom. It says, send tips on the first thing smoking. Can't take the insanity anymore. Yeah. Knicks Nation has spoke. All right. And you already know, man. You already know where you can find us, man. You can find us at the Knick of Time Show on Twitter. Hold on, let me get to the little single screen. Probably all my diehards are the ones still here. Everybody else is falling out that we're closing. Find us on the Knick of Time Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us on on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and all that noise. If you can't watch us on YouTube for some listening on the go, get those KOT snapback as well at the nicktimeshow.com/catalog. Get yours today. And also, you can go to the blog too. Go to nicktimeshow.com to read our blogs and things as such. All right? Okay. That is our show. And you know what? As always,
Shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here, all right? Shout out to D Nice, came in late. That is our show. We are out of here.
Peace.